So, if you're looking for a new space game, then you could do a lot worse than trying out Hell Galaxy. This one released into early access back at the end of July, so it's pretty new. I've been playing it myself this morning and, well, I thought it good enough to actually point it out to you and to talk you through what the game is all about, as well as to show you my first hour or so of the game itself. As far as space games go then, this has got a few unique elements to it. One of those is you literally take on the role of the ship itself. Stripped of your humanity, transferred from your human body into that of the spaceship, you now are, to all intents and purposes, a robot in the form of a spaceship, or I guess you could say just a metal husk, a shadow of your former self. You've been banished to a far-off galaxy, and it's here that you either choose to escape, that is the ultimate objective, and you can have a lot of adventures along the way. In terms of gameplay, I guess I'd describe it as somewhat of a blend, a hybrid between Everspace 2 and Chorus. Both good games, and well, those elements have been used to very good effect here. That said, Hell Galaxy is very distinct, it's certainly its own game, and you'll notice some of that as we play through it. One thing that you'll probably immediately have noticed is that right now I am playing in third person, and you can switch seamlessly between both first person and third person depending on your preference. I tend to switch between the two depending on which activity I'm actually doing. I find third person much easier when you're navigating around the closed-in spaces or when you're trying to locate specific objects. So right here, I'm very close to the start of the game. I've gone through the intro, arrived at my first area, and this is the first station that you actually unlock. It seems that every time you arrive inside a new area, there will be a station that you can interact with. This will allow you to make purchases, it will allow you to trade, and of course upgrade your ship in the form of crafting. Right at the start, the game will guide you through what you need to do. This is a kind of a tutorial, and it's the type of tutorial that I actually prefer. Ones that are directly integrated into the game, and they don't really baby you, they just kind of walk you through the game and get you used to how things work. Right here, we're doing our first upgrade, and we're then going to head off on a mission. One thing that really stands out to me with Hell Galaxy are the aesthetics, the visuals. So for me, these are really reminiscent of late 90s space games. I'm not sure if that's deliberately what they've gone for, or if you actually agree with me, but they really put me in mind of that particular era of gaming. And it's a time where I really enjoyed the games, a lot of really nice space games. And I don't know about you, but at this point in time, I kind of feel it's getting harder and harder to find really quality games. And this is also true in the world of, pretty much everything else. Finding good products is equally as hard. And that's where today's sponsor comes in, who actually makes some great wallets. Here's a word from Exter. My daily carry is the Exter Wallet Pro. It looks great and it's genuinely practical. Press the metal trigger and your cards neatly fan out for instant access. And the RFID protection keeps your data secure. Want something even sleeker? Check out Exter Cardholder Pro. Machined from space-grade aluminium and also available in a stealthy carbon fiber finish. It holds up to 12 cards and has an elastic backplate for cash, all in an ultra-thin package. Now, to make sure you never misplace either wallet, add Exter's tracker card. It's extremely slim, one charge lasts 6 months, and it works with Apple Find My. It lets you ring your wallet from your phone, or indeed the other way round if you're so inclined. Right now, Exter have a full sale. You can get up to 35% off, or if you use my code, you can get up to 45% off. Viewers therefore received an extra 10% discount. Check out all the details through the video description below, including the link and the code. So you've just seen me conduct one of the first missions. That was to destroy some alien hostiles and pick up their remains and then deliver them to this location. As you might expect with this type of game, you have the main missions, the campaign, and then you have a whole selection of side missions. You can see them here in the journal. So I suspect this is going to keep the game engaging, as there's pretty much always something to do. If you don't want to keep on with the main quest, you can soon continue with the side quests and then just switch back. So here's one of those side quests in question, and it also introduces you to the scanner. Just press down the R key and it will scan the environment. Here we're looking for something specific. You'll also notice during this expedition here, this searching, that there's a bunch of other resources that come up as well, and these can be used for crafting and I guess other things too. In this particular case, I'm looking for some husks, some alien husks that are attached to the side of these asteroids. But it turns out that the aliens around this location, these little critters, are none too pleased at me being in their area. Now you can destroy them, but they send out these little toxic orbs, and these seem to navigate themselves towards you. You can shoot them down, you can destroy them, although at this particular stage I didn't quite realise that and ended up getting impacted by one after the other. The trick, as you'll see a little bit further in, is to actually shoot those toxic orbs down and then take out the aliens themselves. Either way, they do drop these little pieces here, which you can then go and hand in for a few bonus credits. Back to the search though, we need to track down those husks, and I need to find 6 of them. Again, really liking the visuals here, simply due to the, well, really extreme contrast and high vibrancy. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be down to everyone's taste. In fact, I suspect likely not. But for me, I really do enjoy the aesthetics here. And that also extends to the design of the different scenery elements here, including these asteroids, and just the alien nature of them look particularly unpleasant. So here I've located the first of the husks. There's going to be 5 more. I thought initially maybe shoot it, but no, you've got to scan it and then it kind of disappears. Do keep in mind that this game is still in early access, so I assume that some of these things will improve over time. If you see visual elements that don't seem quite complete, they might just improve a little bit later on. Either way, feeling very good for an early access title at this point. Now, at this point I did realise that I needed to shoot down those toxic orbs. They do place their way towards you, track their way towards you, and they are destroyed relatively easily. Now this critter also seems to be playing it fairly smart. Look how it's hiding behind the structure here, trying to keep out of my fire range. Pretty smart AI. It took me a while then to track down all the husks. At this point I had just 6 and was continuing to fly around and scanning. What happens is that they do come up on your UI as you get near them, but just like this one, it seems you need to be pretty close to them for that actually to happen. I do wonder whether or not the game might benefit from some type of environmental radar. Whilst the UI is pretty good in the sense that all of these different elements that you locate and track where everything is, I just have personally a little bit of trouble keeping my eye on absolutely everything, and that's the same problem I have in many games like this, and that includes both Everspace 1 and Everspace 2 as well. Environmental radars always pretty handy. At any rate, eventually I'd found enough husks, and it was time to return the data I'd obtained to them back to the Imperial Relay here. This is just basically a way of handing in your quests. Each of them will be different depending on whether you're just hunting a certain number of aliens, tracking down specific resources, or collecting different types of data. So I then decided to head on to the next step in the main quest, which involved me travelling to a different area of space. This is where things started getting a little bit interesting. So Space Zone here, Space Zone Prometheus, and then we get a little cutscene here. So yeah, these cutscenes, you will get them occasionally. It's one of the ways the game conveys the story. Incidentally, I also want to mention here that space is fairly restricted within this game. You're kinda limited towards these little boxed areas, these grids. And this, I would imagine, is possibly down to development scale, not having full-sized galaxies or full-sized star systems. Instead, you're limited to these fairly small boxed-off areas. There is an in-game lore reason for this. They basically explain that these grids, these are shields effectively protecting the area that's contained within them. But it also means you can't exit this. That said, this big Leviathan has managed to smash through the shield and made their way in. They soon leave though, they don't hang around, although you will see more of these later on in the game. But incidentally, the Leviathan taking down that shield has allowed hostiles to get into here and take down some of the friendlies. And you know what? Watching this footage has kind of made me realise what this all reminds me of. It's got some elements of Babylon 5 to it, hasn't it? What do you think? Very classic 90s era sci-fi there, Babylon 5. Okay, so I had to flee the area here because those things that were taking on everyone else were also going to threaten me. And these little circles here, these portholes, these accelerate your ship up to quite high velocities, allowing you to basically transverse these grid zones from one area to the other at relatively high speeds, or comparatively high speeds. So these grid zones, these boxed off areas, are called cages, and this one has been compromised. We need to actually defeat the altars that are in here, and the altars, we'll learn a bit about more of them further into the game. This utility here will eliminate all the altars that are within the cage, thereby making it a little bit more safer for us to continue on our journey. Now, not too much further into the game, you'll come across a new weapon. This is a laser, and you can actually switch between the laser and your other weapon as and when you wish. Seems to be a bit of a graphical issue here, because down on the left we can see a laser appears to be selected, but it's using the cannon, the railgun. If we then swap out, it will actually show the gun but actually use the laser. That seems to be a little bit of a glitch, or at least that's my understanding. Another glitch here appears to be from when you're inside the cockpit and using the laser actually fires through the cockpit. But again, do keep in mind that this is an early access game, and therefore I guess some of these things are to be entirely expected, and they're very likely to be fixed over time. Another thing with combat that I didn't mention is that you have 3 different modes. You have where your shields and weapons are balanced. That's number 1 that I've got currently active. Press number 2 on the keyboard, you'll go out to all offensive mode. This will make you weaker, a little bit more of a glass cannon. And then you have option 3, where power is diverted more towards shields. That means you'll have a lot more defense and weaker firepower. So you can switch between these as and when you want. Over on the other side, you've got keys 4, 5, 6 and 7. These are where you can apply other utilities and devices and resources to use them and consume them as and when you need them. For example, normally I have basically health packs on key 4, which will recharge your ship and repair any damage to it. So yeah, that's Hell Galaxy. Like I say, I haven't played it too much just yet, but I really wanted to get this first impressions video out there, because I really do believe that first impressions are a really good indicator as to a quality of a game, and this one does seem to have all the hallmarks of a really nice game. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this one some more. So thanks for watching this video all the way through, and my thanks as well to Exter for sponsoring this video. Do check out that link in the video description. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.